Hello, everyone. This is Insight by Vincent J. Today's topic is going to be independence. Primarily, I'm talking about independence as it pertains to the realm of the professional auditor or attestation, someone that's um, engaged essentially to provide an opinion of sorts based on some kind of subject matter that they would be auditing or giving an attestation statement about. And so it's not necessarily that you can't understand independence if you don't do this kind of work. It lends itself to a number of different scenarios, and it's really important for professionals everywhere to kind of understand what independence is and why it's a very useful tool to have, whether you're an auditor or not. So, why would we want to have independence from management, former clients, prior employers, internal stakeholders? Well, number one, all of these people have one thing in common. They, at one point or currently, still can leverage power over us, and that leverage could have an effect on our work product if we had to answer to them. So that's why having independence is paramount for being objective and also not having biased opinions. If these people were able to leverage that power over us without our independence, our opinions would be basically useless. So this provides the public a greater reason to have confidence in what it is that we're doing, what it is that's being attested to. Um, you know, you wouldn't want to have someone in there who is essentially, going back to, let's just say, someone in middle management, um, you know, who essentially maybe has something to gain. Say they have stock options or a bonus that's reliant on, our opinion on the financial statements. Well, if you're answering to that person, they're going to do what's going to ultimately end up being most advantageous for them and try to affect or at least twist the arm of the professional into not being, forthcoming with information. And so that's why independence has to be in place to protect, the public and also to protect the professional. And I will get into that towards the end of the video. Be sure to stick around until then because we're going to talk about a topic that I think is really important and it's also applicable to anyone in any industry. So, generally speaking, though, it does prevent us from missing the overall objectives of the engagement by being independent. It helps us to provide the most unbiased opinion possible. I mean, just at the end of the day, objectivity is really the goal of the professional. That's anyone. You need to be as objective as possible in everything that you're doing, and don't let emotion get involved or anyone to, basically lead you to believe that your professional judgment is not adequate. So who should we answer to? I mean, essentially, somebody has to, hear what we're seeing, our observations. Who should we answer to? Well, ideally, another body that is responsible for oversight, aside from the immediate, group of people that we would be, talking to or, looking over. You don't want to have someone that isn't independent themselves, or, I mean, they can't necessarily be completely independent, but it should be someone whose primary role is oversight versus being, front lines operational type of person who would have incentive to get a clean opinion. So, for starters, we need to have a barrier between those that could potentially abuse their power and punish dissenting opinions, and also whistleblowers. So, ideally, this would be someone like an audit committee, Not every organization or not every engagement is going to have that level of, corporate governance. But if they did have an audit committee, that would be the ideal, you know, uh, person to answer to, or at least present these findings that we're having. Secondly, we have to recognize that, strategic mishaps do occur, and the overall goals and objectives of an engagement can't be circumvented by outside parties. So this is why we want someone who's in an oversight position. There's going to be people trying to leverage, and it could happen even at the top. But essentially, we want to have at least someone who's typically more concerned with the overall goals and objectives of an organization, and not just covering their hind. So finally, the ultimate goal should always be to provide the public with confidence of whatever is being presented, that it is honest and fair and it can be relied upon. That just lends to professional credibility if we put the public in mind first, and that we always keep that in the back of our head that someone could be relying on information that we're providing and it could be to their detriment. So always keep that in the back of your mind as a professional, that someone's relying on what you're telling them, and essentially you just have to do the best that you can to make sure that you're independent and that you're not being biased. Okay, now for the part that I've been waiting to discuss with you. um, Apologies there. Disassociation. I got a little trigger happy there because I'm a firm advocate on disassociation. um, This is just so important. I know disassociation kind of sounds like independence a little bit. However, it's not. It's a means of professionals basically getting to take the power back. This is the professional leveraging their authority from others, um, or rather from others, getting away from them. So disassociating. It does not have to be in an audit and an attestation setting, guys. You can disassociate from anything. I mean, think about just personal situations maybe that you've heard as a child growing up. Don't hang around the wrong crowd, or stay away from those people. They're a bad influence, guys. Those people grow up and they join organizations. They're in the workforce. They're in business. They're in government. They're at every level. Okay. It didn't stop in childhood to stay away from the wrong crowd. So I'm going to tell you again, if no one's ever told you in life, don't associate yourself with bad, uncredible people, people that lack integrity. Stay away from them. And we disassociate ourselves from these things as a protection mechanism, as a defense mechanism. You know, Disassociation from a particular engagement, whether that's an assignment or even an entire organization, it's one of the most powerful tools in the professional's arsenal. Why? Well, number one, and this is the most important, it keeps the professional's credibility intact. Intact, guys. Without your credibility, you're nothing, okay? Once you lose that credibility, it's gone forever. So, keeping your professional credibility intact by not associating or allowing others to coerce our decisions that are I'm going to say almost always not in the best interest of the professional. Okay? There's just so many times, and I'm just going to give you just a little bit of bearing of my soul, little shedding of insight here. I've disassociated myself from people. And I've done this for a variety of reasons. Number one, um, you can't hang around people that are going to create problems in your life. I truly believe that God can deliver you from many things, and that includes people. So if there's someone in your life that's, trying to make you make bad decisions, pray about it. But I feel that, we as people have a well, really as believers, we have a responsibility to not associate ourselves with darkness. What does light have to do with darkness? Okay, that's biblical. And so what I'm saying to you, I say to myself, and this is one of those times where, you just recognize that there are people in this world that we are just not meant to be, yoked with. And that's okay. Okay. You can pray for those people. You can ask God that He would show them the light. But ultimately, it's our salvation that we have to work out while we're here on earth. Okay. So if there's someone who's getting you to make bad decisions, you need to stay away from those people, and you need to separate yourself and disassociate as soon as reasonably possible. Okay. And finally, or most importantly, it allows the professional, sorry for the typo here, I'm going to call that one out, to not be viewed as an affiliate, okay, or a co-conspirator to this bad behavior. Don't associate yourself with people or certain things that are going to be deemed as, unreputable, period. You don't want to be um, having to answer for whatever that is. If you, well, number one, don't agree with it, and number two, you had no part in it. Um, you know, there's an old saying, or something that I was told growing up. If you don't want to smell like garbage, don't hang out in the trash. So take it for what it is, guys. So I just wanted to thank you again for watching this video on independence. Sorry if it ran a little long. It's a topic that's covered most often in the audit setting, but I really feel like it would be useful for any professional, and also to understand maybe why someone is the way they are. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Insight by Vincent J. And I look forward to providing you more content like this if it's something you find useful. Be sure to leave a comment, or if there's something else that you'd like to see, just let me know, and I'll try to work that out. Thanks.